Name.
Hannah Keach,
Age.
30 years old,
And job title.
makeup and hair artist.
When and why did you decide to get into this line of work?
So, I studied beauty therapy when I was 16 to 18. Loved it, but preferred the makeup. Then I found out about a foundation degree in specialist makeup at my college, which I then went and did that, completed that, and knew from doing that course that this was what I wanted to do as a career.
Okay, describe all of the training and qualifications you have, if any.
Oh dear. So I did beauty therapy, MVQ level 2 and 3 when I was 16 to 18. Then when I was 18, I went on to my foundation degree in specialist makeup, which was 2 years. I then did my top-up degree, which was a BA Honours degree in media performance. From there, I did a little work in the industry and then went back into education and studied to be a teacher for makeup and hair, which I did my PGCE. And from then, I carried on doing short courses in the industry for my specialist skills. So makeup courses, hair courses, and things like that.
Do you have another job outside the industry?
I do. If I'm not working in the industry, which could be for days, weeks, months at a time, I do tend to go back to my beauty, back to working in my salon, my old salon sometimes, to help them out, if I'm not busy.
Who are your influences?
So, influences, I would probably say, in the special effects industry, I'd probably say Neil Gorton and Stuart Bray. In the industry which I tend to work in more, I would look up to my designers who I've worked with. So I would say Laura Shawker, Steve Smith, I'd say Gail Brownrigg, Helen Smith, Sarah Johnson. A lot of my designers I've worked with I tend to look up to.
Describe your typical working day.
So typical working day, if I remember the job I've just finished, it could be a 3 a.m. get up, 3:30 pick up. It could be artists in the chair at 4 a.m. Travel to set by about 7:30, 8 a.m. And it would be working on set, maintaining what we've done makeup and hair wise, until wrap, which could be anything between 6, 7:30, 8 on a normal daily rota. D-rig back at base, so D-rig in the hair and makeup we've done on our artists, and then back to home, possibly around 8:30 at night.
Since leaving education, what has been your biggest career achievement?
Since leaving education, I'd say there's probably two. I'd say teaching was a big thing for me when I was young. I was 22. I went straight into teaching, so that was a big achievement for me. And then I would definitely say when I actually left and went into the industry, so the biggest achievement. It could be what I've just finished on, Game of Thrones out in Spain and Belfast. That's probably the biggest thing that I've done so far.
Do you have an agent, and if so, do you find it necessary?
No, I don't have an agent. I think really in TV, in the industry I work in, we don't tend to have agents. It tends to, a lot of it be through word of mouth, who you know, who you've worked with before, who you get on with. Agent-wise, I think more people have agents if they tend to be in the fashion photographic industry. I would say possibly more.
Do you have any advice for anybody trying to get into the business?
Advice I would give would be, you need to be prepared to be working all hours. You need to be prepared to be living away from home, if that's the kind of job you're going to do. You need to be aware that your life's going to change and you don't see friends and family like you did before, especially if you're living away working. You have to have passion, dedication, and you have to be hardworking and get on well with others and work as a team, I would say.
Are there any projects you would like to be involved in the future?
Yes. I'd love to go back to projects I've done. I'd love to go back and do Game of Thrones again. I'd love to go back and do Father Brown again, 1950s. I'd like to do more period dramas. Maybe Mr. Selfridge or Downton Abbey, things like that, which are a bit more challenging with the hair. I'd like to also probably break into the film industry because I'm more TV.
What was your first professional job?
My first professional job, I could say teaching, but if I link it more to my industry, I would say when I left teaching and started as a trainee on a BBC drama called By Any Means.
What is the most difficult part of your job?
Difficult part, personally, I would say living away from home, living away from family, and possibly the hours you work can be very difficult.
If you could, what would you do differently?
If I could do anything differently, I would probably, if I could do anything differently, I wish that I would have more confidence when I first start a job. When I first get given a job or taken onto a job, I get very nervous. And after a couple of weeks, I wonder why I got nervous in the first place. So maybe that, maybe a bit more confidence. Anything else I would change? Not really. No, because I've been very lucky.
What is the hardest decision you have had to make?
The hardest decision I had to make within my job was definitely leaving full-time teaching and going into the industry. I had to start again. So I would say leaving a job where I was running and managing my course to going into the industry and being a trainee, starting at the bottom and working your way up again, was very difficult, but amazing.
Is there anybody within your field that you would particularly like to work with?
Yes, who would I like to work with? In the prosthetic side, I would say Neil Gorton and Stuart Bray. In the TV side, in TV and makeup and hair that I do, there would be designers that I'd like to work with, again, who I have worked with, and possibly new designers on different productions, and new up-and-coming designers as well. Actors-wise, I've always said Goldie Hawn and Harrison Ford.
Is there another area that you would like to work in?
Another area. Within my bracket, within my industry, I would say possibly prosthetics, because I tend to work more in makeup and hair, straight makeup and hair, and period hair and makeup. I'd like to work more in prosthetics. I think that'd be a little bit more interesting in places. But other than that, not any other part of the industry.
Do you enjoy your job?
I love my job.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Fingers crossed. Designing on either a BBC or ITV drama or a Sky drama, something for TV. Designing it and having my own team that I could choose and work together with. Yeah.
And income?
Income. It could be anything. It depends what area you're working in. It depends what you've been employed as, whether you're trainee, whether you're first assistant, second assistant, whether you're designing. For me, personally, at the moment, I'm assistant. So it could be approximately, I could earn up to 40 a year. It could go down, it could go up, depending on if you've got regular work, and depending on whether you've got a job which you're employed in for 6 months or 8 months or 4 months, or whether you're out of work for 2, 3, 4 months. So it could change at any point.
Perfect, thank you.